Hi everyone, I'm Leon Thomas Lewick. Here's your political news roundup for Monday, September 26th. Today brings another showdown vote to keep the federal government from shutting down. The Senate scheduled to vote on a short-term spending bill, but big questions remain about funding for disaster victims and where it will come from, whether there are enough votes for passage, and whether the House will go along once the Senate acts. The House passed its own bill earlier, but since then the Senate has changed it. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking toward the deadline for the government to run out of funding on Friday. We won't know, probably for weeks, the amount of time former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich will face in prison for corruption. His October 6th sentencing date today was postponed by a federal judge. The judge gave no reason nor mention of when sentencing would take place. Blagojevich was convicted on 17 corruption and bribery counts. The sentencing delay is believed to be related to the upcoming trial of his co-defendant, which is scheduled to begin before the same judge 1 week from today. Also today, the judge threw out a request from Blagojevich for a new trial. Republican Party leaders are scratching their heads today. They're trying to put the results of the weekend's Florida presidential straw poll into context. A man considered by many to be a second or even third-tier candidate, Herman Cain, won the vote among delegates to Florida's Presidency 5 conference. Cain said today he is a legitimate candidate and that his victory did not represent protest votes against the other higher polling and higher funded candidates. In the straw poll, Cain got more votes than supposed frontrunners Rick Perry and Mitt Romney combined. He called it a victory for message over money. And at the United Nations, formal consideration is underway on the request by Palestinians for statehood recognition. The Security Council was set to meet behind closed doors to discuss the request. It was made by Palestinian National Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas last week. That speech by Abbas brought cheers and demonstrations of support around the Arab world, but strong opposition from the United States and Israel. The review process is likely to take weeks or even months. That's your political news roundup for Monday, September 26th. I'm Leon Thomas Lewick. Stay logged on to rttnews.com for the latest in political and economic news all day long.